It's a lot of the same things after watching the tape. Same things I said yesterday. Obviously, I think we had 8 punts and um, 6 of them were 4th and 9 or more. And so, I talked to the team a little bit today about, how all those things impact the games. They double our gunners and don't give us a chance to get a return, because of those situations. So, but we had a good meeting about a lot of the situation football that we talk about. Obviously there were some good things. I thought Nick Vigil played well. I thought KJ Osborne did some good things. Thielen played well. I thought defensively we had those 2 bad series. We jumped off sides and gave up and then had a pass interference, which was really just about a technique of turning and looking for the ball as opposed to turning over the other shoulder. And then come out after the half. That wasn't a good series, but overall, we had 5 sacks. I thought we pressured the quarterback well. We fought back to get back from 14 down to get back to overtime. The kick that Joseph made was a really, really good one, and so there's some good things all the way around. We gotta clean up the penalties, and we can't, when you have 10 penalties in the first half. 14, I think, and 4 of them were turned down. You just put yourself in a bad situation. You got to throw the ball, and that's not how we're built. So, questions?
You mentioned the technique on that defensive pass interference, but what does Bashad Breeland need to do going forward, or need to clean up?
Well, that one, it was really a deal where. So typically, if you turn into the receiver and if there's any kind of contact, they've called that. I've seen them a little bit slack on it lately, but they call that all, almost exclusively now. Officials don't believe that you can look over your outside shoulder and look for the ball, which is incorrect, but but it is what it is. So. I thought he played, there was a lot of good plays in there. He got beat on a dig, and the one was honestly was a bad call. I tried to blitz him in a 2-minute drill, and, he stared at the quarterback too long. But other than that, he did some really good things. And, once he settled down, I thought he made some really good plays in the running game. I broke up that last 3rd down, I believe it was, to get us opportunity to win the game, and it was, I think, in overtime. So yeah, he just it's consistency with him.
Mike, any satisfaction in that you came back in the 4th quarter, and if you don't have the fumble in overtime, you probably got a chance to kick the field goal and win?
Yeah, I don't know if satisfaction is the thing. We fought back. I think we played a lot better. About midway through the 3rd quarter, offensively. We had a big stop defensively, but they, with the special teams on the kickoff, I believe, right after we scored. So, it's a lot of, the way we started was not good offensively, obviously. Defensively, we started out pretty good.
How much of an evaluation can you get on
Excuse me?
How much of an evaluation can you get on how Clint did in his first game as coordinator, considering all the situation?
It's hard. I'm talking to him the whole game. There's a lot of things that came up throughout the course of the game that we talk about. But there ain't many calls when it's 3rd and 24. We converted 1, but there's not very many calls that you're going to make doing that. They had a little bit different alignments in there, and so we had to adjust there for a while. But other than that, yeah.
What stood out to you about the pass protection? I guess after you watched the game again.
I thought we were, they were big guys, and I thought we were a little high in some of that. We got pushed back a little bit. Some of it really there was one time there was a miscommunication, and then one time was a 3-man rush. We got pushed back, and then a couple times we overset guys. So I think we just got to be better with our feet and the communication. As far as where they are, and then that leads to if your feet are bad, then it leads to grabbing and reaching.
Is that the case with Rashad and kind of what you saw from him?
Yeah, not only him. I mean, we had another penalty where, we threw a guy down, and then we jumped on top of a guy. So that was another penalty, which was just silly.
Are there things you want to see more of with the line to help them, be it, keeping a tight end in or just rolling Cousins out and resetting the pocket? Or
Well, there's a little bit of catch-22 with all that. You keep the tight end in and you turn the line the other way, then the tight end's got to block the defensive end. So that's usually not a really good. Actually, we got a sack on it.
Hunters?
Yeah, they did the same thing. They turned it, and so the tight end's trying to block Hunter. So, there's a little catch-22. You got to change it up, and it is what it is. But when you're throwing 59 times, or 49 times. I mean, you're gonna have some issues in protection.
How do you feel Daniil did? We had just heard from him, and he had said he felt like there wasn't much rust for him to knock off.
Yeah, I don't know whatever he said. I think he got into the flow better in the second quarter. Sometimes it takes a while. He hadn't played in a while. But Mike Pierce, he didn't play last year, and I thought he played well.
Mike, with that 4th and 4 catch that KJ made to set up the field goal at the end of regulation, are those the type of plays that for Cousins, is that going to help him establish more trust in someone like KJ being able to go to him? Is that read?
Yeah, I don't think Kirk doesn't trust guys. That's part of the read. He made a great catch, and I'm sure that'll go, along with getting the ball more. But Kirk believes, I think he trusts all these guys.
What has KJ done? I guess we've been talking about him since the spring. It seems like he's emerging as that wide receiver 3 for you. What do you like about him in that role?
Well, he can do a number of different things, be in different spots. He's been good with the routes. I don't know if he's number 3 or how it goes, but just trying to get more guys on the field that can produce.
Seemed like in the second half they started to run the ball a little bit more effectively. What kinds of things did they do to help get that going?
I kind of got out of some of the stuff we were doing early, and then there was a couple times, going into the game, they were heavy tendency of throwing the ball on second down, and they had a few runs in there that, I had us in poor looks for some of the runs. So, but they ran the ball a little bit more. They got to the edge a little bit more than what they did in the first half. I probably should have stuck with some of the things that we were doing early in the game. But I'm encouraged about our run defense.
Overall, how do you feel about the pass rush yesterday? It seemed like that second half they were really getting after Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did a good job. We had several hits on him. Obviously 5 sacks. I thought Griff had a couple good rushes. Looked like the old Griff in a couple ways. I think Daniil is I thought maybe a couple times he was trying to make his move a little bit too soon, instead of sticking with it early. But yeah, I think it's better.
Did Michael Pierce surprise you at all with his pass rush, or did he just kind of benefit from the scheme and the guys around him?
Well, the one sack he got was, he kind of jerk pulled the center and got by him. Trying to remember the other one, but no, he's got good quickness and good strength. So, hopefully that continues. You get, the disappointing one. I think Harry had a sack on the drive before the half, and we go 2nd and 20, and then I'm in a poor call, and they run, about 18, and then they sneak it for the first down, I think it was, and then maybe we get the pass interference there or something. I think that drive was kind of because you got a team 2nd and 20, you got a good shot to get them out.
Going back to KJ, I know a lot was made out of him throughout training camp, but just how encouraging was it to see the production in a game?
Yeah, it's good. We expect him to. I think he played well. The conversion on 3rd and 24, the conversion on 4th and 4. He'll keep improving. I think he's done a good job, but getting some game access and making some plays in the game, I think will help that.
You mentioned after Irv Smith Jr.'s injury that you probably use a little more 11 personnel. It ended up being the offense's most used formation yesterday. Was that, dictated by 1st and 20 quite often, or do you think you'll still use 11 personnel?
It was
that
probably a
much?
combination of both, of not, I mean, the long yardage, but they also had, a bunch of guys in the box, so, to try to spread them out a little bit.
Coach, I know with Jordan Berry yesterday, you mentioned the good punt he had at the end of the game. Seemed like he just kind of kept getting better and better with each of his punts. I guess just what was your overall assessment of his first game?
Yeah, I think he hit a decent game. Everybody sees the real long punt at the end, but, his hang times have to be better, so he's going to have to do a better job on some of that. Allowed, I think, I won't tell you the times, but, he has to get more consistent with his hang time.
How concerning is it that you still seem to have the issue with Bradbury getting kind of driven back into the quarterback? Is that just a issue of him playing too high, or what's the?
It's just he's on bigger guys, and sometimes that's going to happen. So we got to do a little bit more with the guards to help him at times as well. But there was, he just. He's a powerful, athletic guy that hopefully we don't get in there where we're throwing the ball 49 times.
Like you mentioned a few times, just calls that you felt you made that weren't the right spot or didn't go the way you wanted. I guess as a play caller, what's the process like of evaluating whether it was a good day or a bad day when the line can be so small in terms of one call changing the whole game?
Yeah, one call can change it. You can feel like you've done a good job all day, and usually it's one of those, I wish I had that call back. I wish I had this call back. But, defensively, we played pretty good. And a lot of times, quite honestly, a lot of times you make a bad call and they make up for it because they play, they do a good job making a play. When Harrison Smith got his sack, I didn't know that was going to be a pass, but he ends up beating the guy and sacking him. So, those guys can help you out and you can help them out at times too. But I don't, there's never a game that you go into and you say, man, I shouldn't have called that there. And, if I knew every call that they were going to make, it'd be easy. But they did change a lot with, like I said, I watched Washington last year. The first quarter, every play was a throw. So there was a bunch of, after a first down run, a bunch of throws. And those are all the things you study at, and you try to go on tendencies and you figure out, what's going on, and then during the course of the game, you try to adjust.
Time for two more.
Mike, with the false starts early in the game, was that just jitters? Was that a miscommunication?
Yeah, I talked to those guys a little bit, the guys that had them, and they just said, it was just on them. It was just you would never guess C.J. Ham would ever jump on the first play of the game. He would be the last guy I would think about. But, we got to do a better job focusing this week and making sure that, with the crowd noise and everything. We played it last week all day. But, obviously maybe the first game getting out there and fans and things like that, probably a little bit more hyped up.
Mike, you know how hard it is to come back from a slow start from last year. How much more urgency does that put on your team? And is your team, being the veteran team, better to handle coming back from an early loss?
Well, I think this, Joe. I think we still have a chance to have a really good team. I know we didn't show it really in all three phases the other day, but there's a lot of things that I see are pretty darn good. There's a lot of things we got to correct. I had one of the defensive players in my office today, and he actually, he came to see me, but he said, I think we can really be good. And, he sees that we can't be 2nd and 20, and, we got to be smart in these situations. It all comes down to that. But I have the same feeling. I think we can be good, but we got to go out and show it. Okay.